Boom! We're here. Welcome back to Roll for Mischief. This is going to be the ultimate concluding part of the session for this entire episode that's been called Firestarter, being dungeon mastered by Asa Kinney over there.
It is very conclusive.
Yeah. And when we last left off, our characters had managed to fend off some very scary looking cranium spiders. Egner proved himself to be mostly useless, except when he rescued Ellie, who was in a situation where she didn't really need rescuing, but she let Egner rescue her anyway. And we've gone straight up to this crazy non-Euclidean kind of looking structure supposedly built by the Drow, and
hmm
we're about to find out what's in there.
Yeah. So, as Eridu has fiddled with the rune, you see as parts of this metallic structure begin to fold and bend in on itself, um, coming to and making up impossible spaces that just don't seem to make sense. It's almost like the metal is melting into itself, but it's also not because it's maintaining its solid shape. Um, Phasing would be another good word that probably would apply in a world where there is magic. And the it creates sort of this entrance chamber or platform. The cord that holds it in place has shrunk to being about 10 foot wide instead of 30 feet wide or long, and then it's also thickened out to be about 10 feet wide, so you can walk across it with ease. As those of you who are not Eridu and Halifax do, you still feel that sensation of your feet being magnetized to the thread as you walk across it. Um, you make it onto the platform. There is a now everything seems very much structured in a way that your minds can easily comprehend. There is very clearly a door. It's a double door, but it's only once it's open, only wide enough to fit about one person at a time. You all make your way into the entry room of this much larger structure now, and along the walls of almost black metal are these jutted lines of green, like pulsating with green light. It gives a really faint hue, not enough to completely make dark vision pointless, but does allow. It seems to allow people with dark vision to actually see quite a bit further than they normally would. But that all doesn't seem to matter very much because Halifax has lit his staff. Has not lit his staff. Has made his staff radiate light. The room you're in now is not furnished at all. It's large enough, seems to be perfectly large enough for just what you need, which is enough room for the five of us, six of us now with Jarn, to get into the room and stand comfortably. Uh, but there's nothing for us to sit on, nowhere else for us to really interact with. But there is another door, much larger. So who is the person that is going to initiate opening that door? He asks ominously.
Not Egner. Actually, Egner at this point, he's kind of just distracted from current events. He's realizing that his strength has been flagging. You know, it's like just a way of me describing him dealing with the fact that he's still poisoned from that drow that got him in the bottom of the tower. So he's
Mm-hmm.
actually like digging around in his pack right now, just like trying to feel around for something that could, I don't know, maybe he put some like antidote or medicine in there sometime, and he's just scrounging around in there. He's not super paying attention to anything else that's going on right now.
All right.
Um,
He finds
Halifax.
he finds a couple of glass, vials, yeah, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
In his pack. Would you like to drink one?
Oh yeah.
Okay, roll me a d20.
Okay. 10.
Okay.
Can, can I see what liquid, like what the color of this liquid is? Like stood right next to him, just before as he brings it to his mouth.
Yeah, just before he brings it to his mouth, you notice that it is a very thick green color that's almost the consistency of vomit.
Oh, can I like kind of shove his hand away from his mouth?
Yes, you may.
I'll try not to like push it out of his hand, although if I do, I do. But just to be like, no.
Okay.
Ellie. Ellie, what? What are you doing?
Probably don't drink that.
I need this. Don't you
No,
understand that I
yeah.
need this?
Uh,
I don't
That-
feel well.
That vial is acid. So
yeah, don't drink it.
I
Oh.
think Ellie would be able to
No, no.
recognize that by looking at it.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I actually meant to drink this one.
Can I help him find one that looks at least vaguely healing?
Yeah, you find a purple liquid that is like glowing with little phosphorescent orbs, and you're pretty sure that one is an antidote.
I mean, I'm no alchemist,
You are
So-
an alchemist.
so
Okay.
I mean,
Can
why
I-
don't you just wait? Why, like?
No, can
why-
I drink this, please? Is it okay?
Oh.
Is it okay if I drink it?
Oh, I don't know.
I promise I won't drink the other one. I'll remember
Can I
that
do,
that
like-
one's for something else.
Can I do an intelligence check or something?
Sure.
Probably not gonna be great. Oh. Just start. Where? Okay. 18.
18 in total for a not great roll.
Oh, well, yeah. I forget that I'm smart.
This particular potion seems to be a potion of revitalization. It will help his body fight back the poison as well as cure minor wounds and aches.
Okay.
That's exactly what he needs.
You can drink that one. Just next time.
Okay, all right.
Ask.
Okay,
help.
next time I'll ask. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
so he
You
uncorks it and
remove
checks
the
it.
poison condition and you heal 2d8.
Yay! I mean, I already am healed, but yeah, the poison thing is a big deal. Thank you. Okay, he's good. He's good.
Who's opening the door?
Halifax.
All right, Halifax. As you reach for the door, where are you at mentally, emotionally, and what are you kind of expecting to be on the other side?
Interesting.
Halifax is in an odd place. Everything around here is big and scary, but Halifax kind of wants like samples and things. Like he's curious more than scared. But also like I don't think he's self-reflective on it at all. Because if he did self-reflect on this, he would go, I really should be more concerned for my friend's safety right now. But he's excited at all this new stuff and magic stuff going on and shenanigans. So yeah, he's kind of he's not reading the room. Like Aigner and Eridu, like they're a bit banged up and hurt and not not feeling so great.
Right.
So yeah, Halifax is perhaps a little cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, as you reach for the handle and turn it, do you feel a sharp, shocking sensation in your fingers, and then like momentarily blackout, like just everything kind of goes black for a moment, and then the doors open, and you are looking into a decent-sized laboratory. In the center of the room is just its head on the table in the center of the room. Its long tail like dropping over the table and like circling around the table itself twice over, is one of those bluish uh, ghost-like snake things that had the internal organs that you could see, the one that ate the drow. It has been cut open, and pins are holding its chest cavity open. It looks as though some of the organs have been removed. It doesn't seem to have a strong skeletal structure at first glance, but as you look a little bit closer, you see the bones are there, but they're nearly transparent. Along the walls are diagrams of the anatomy of other creatures that you have seen, notably cranium spiders, and there seems to be a reconstructed segment of the spine eels, which are the things that live in the mushrooms. And this seems to be exactly what you kind of had just expected. Just your curiosity has manifested itself into now you are in a laboratory. All of you see this. All of you are aware of it.
Agner doesn't see it, and he's very happy he doesn't see it.
Agner smells it. It is a really rancid smell of not decomposition, but we'll say like anesthes. It's very clean smelling in the way that's overly done and
Like
kind of makes
disinfectant smell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Like
kind of
vacuum
like the
powder.
fantasy version of formaldehyde.
exactly. Whatever that would be, some kind of prestidigitation formaldehyde.
Ugh.
Like I genuinely didn't realize that was like every time I go into like a tattoo or piercing studio and stuff, I'm like, you know, it smells really nice in here. I'd love to get this for the house. And now I know that it's disinfectant. It's like, oh, okay,
It smells really disinfectant in here.
yeah. Like I really like the smell though.
I need
It's
some
weird.
disinfectant candles. That's what I need.
Also,
Yes, I am.
something remarkably
Oh.
notable, there is nobody else in here. It looks like there's mid dissection happening, but there's no one here doing the dissecting.
You mentioned before, like if I get closer to have a look, Halifax is all up in them guts. He is going and investigating and like looking around, trying to see like what makes this thing sick. Like there are some amazing, fantastic creatures here. There are some fantastic beasts. I want to know where to find them.
What's everyone else doing?
Egner is feeling better from the poison, and yeah, he is smelling all this disgusting stuff. He's actually clutching onto Ellie, and not even like asking like what is in here. He's just like not into it, just not into it.
I actively decide not to overly describe what's in there. I'll just say that Halifax has opened a door and it's like a science room. It's like a lab. That's all you need to know.
Okay, it's a very disgusting smelling lab.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. I just want to get out of here. Can we just keep moving? Is that okay?
Actually, I'm not going to do that. Can I ask Eridu, how do these doors work? Are there any other doors? Is that the only door here?
Yeah, that's the only door here. This room is fairly large. It might feasibly be bigger on the inside, but definitely, you don't. There wouldn't be room for there to be any more rooms if this thing unfolded in the way that you think it should.
So I'll ask him, is it that like do we close the door and is that the only room in here, or do we close the door and open it and it's another room?
This would be the only room in here currently now. If you were to close the door with someone inside of it and open it again, it would still be the same room. But if you were to close the door and need something different and open it, it would give you what you needed. All of these rooms sort of exist in their own space, and then they are summoned when you need them.
That's
So
so
hopefully
interesting.
whoever needs this room for their experiment doesn't need it anytime soon, since they're not going to be able to access it.
Ellie's
Very
pretty
good.
fascinated by this, to be honest. 'Cause-
Halifax too. this is something that warrants a great deal more experimentation. Like, if I were to set a piece of fresh fruit in this room and left it, if I came back a month later, would the fruit still be fresh, or would it have rotted? Like, does the room exist when it's not in use? But that is besides the point. Right now, we need to find this row. I suggest we file out, try the door again, and
Oh, we're not in that room, Halifax. Me and Agner are like way out.
I'll just look around and be like, oh. I'll sort of like sulk out that I'm the only one excited by all this. But yes, I will begrudgingly close the door and suggest that someone else open the door, because I'm probably just going to want to open it to that room again.
So it's the room that we require. Sorry, go on.
You're muted,
Muted.
Alex.
Here we go.
The room-
Well, yeah, room of requirement. Leah's kind of, I would assume, like in the order of things, Leah was behind Halifax and Eridu.
Mhm.
And if she sees that the room is in fact not anything that she cares about, and ascertains that we're all leaving the room and trying again, she will be the one to step forward because she's on a mission.
Damn straight.
She wants a room that will get us out of here and to the person that we need to see.
Which
Well, unfortunately, I guess it's going to be Agrian.
is okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But
That's
also
you know.
because we keep forgetting that he exists. Is
Joran.
Joran still being tracked around by us?
Yeah.
No, he actually at this point is like coming to from the stasis he's been put under. Leah's not really able to keep him down a whole lot longer since she's already been putting so much of her mental effort into these cranium spiders and everything else.
I imagine I almost trip over him on my way out the room. Just like, oh yeah, forgot about you.
Oh yeah, you're here.
He just kind of groggily goes, "Where are we?"
Egner just says in a shocked voice, "Oh my god, I forgot he was here. Wait, what are we gonna do with him?"
I was small and confused, and I'm still confused, and I thought I died. Didn't I die?
Yeah, join the club, dude. Join the club. Okay.
No, we saved you.
Died too?
Leah has, oh, go on.
Oh, he just says you died too to Egner.
Egner's just being overly sarcastic, and he's not actually trying to engage in conversation.
Leah has been dividing her attention between Eridu and Jaren, and because she wants to make sure that he doesn't try to kill himself again. So she will probably turn to Jaren and say something like, we're trying to get to somewhere where we'll be able to finish what we're working on, but I want you to stay strong and think about yourself and what you want to do with your life, because I want to help you with that too.
He just kind of gives a nod as though he's still very mentally distant.
Cool. Just, yeah. But yeah, she actually, what she wants is to go to that place that we were going to go to try and find Agrian. Correct? The iron something?
Yeah, the first place you were thinking of, for sure.
Iron Fist hold.
Yeah, I don't know if she necessarily in her head is thinking, we need to be right in front of this man that I hate. It's more like, we need to be in the general vicinity so we can make a plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you think that, open the door, and you open it to a small room with murder holes along the wall, and it's a turreted room. And if you go in and look through the murder holes, what you see is you're looking out over the same tentacle area that you were across earlier, and you see what appears to be a band of darkly dressed figures, very quietly making their way along the tentacle towards the way you guys came from.
Is there anything about those figures that Leah recognizes or like understands what she's seeing?
From the distance, no. But if this room is doing what what you guys have hypothesized that it does, then those people should either in that group Agrian should be with them, or they should know where he is and how to get to him.
Okay. Then she will relay that information to the rest of the party.
You're telling me we got to go back out there?
It seems so. If this room does what we think it does.
It seems the room has given us an opportunity to plan, to make sure that we can make this encounter go the way we want it to.
Okay. Well, whatever it is that we got to do, let's do it. Let me just ask one question first, and then he'll spin over to where he heard Joran's voice last.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll say, "You, Joran, tell me, and be honest now, because I can tell if you're bullshitting me. Who do you really work for?"
I work for the ISCB.
Can I like knee him in the stomach?
Of course.
Okay, yeah, I'll just reach forward and just take my, knee that's covered in a nice little, like, kneecap, like, armor piece or whatever, and I'll just hit him right in the stomach. Joran, I can tell when you're bullshitting me.
I'm not lying, but ever since a certain artifact has come into the possession of the ISCB, I have heard whispers and had dreams, and I have pledged myself to assist Zarkon in the ways that I can.
I fucking knew it. And at that, Egner just, like, walks away, and he just starts cursing to himself and muttering and just saying, "I fucking knew it. Just stinks of Zarkon. The whole thing over. Just the whole thing.
But,
fucking Zarkon."
But your companion has helped me to consider that maybe the better future Zarkon showed me is a lie. Maybe all I've done is work to make things worse.
I could have told you that.
Well, you weren't there to tell me that, were you?
No.
You could have been, though. You could have stayed with the Bureau. You could have underwent the investigation instead of sneaking away in the night. But instead, you left, and you let us try to piece together what that hunk of metal was, and what exactly Vincent Vashun's plan was. And now we are at a loss. And the board of directors is doing the best that they can, but they don't have all the pieces. You were a vital part of that puzzle.
Look, whatever you all were piecing together, whatever misfortune has befallen
We were piecing
all
together
of you,
why you were tortured, Egner, and what Zarkon was.
I'm not really interested in any of that anymore. I'm just trying to move on with my life. I'm just trying to live, not trying to be some kind of subject, something kept in a cage. Whatever misfortune has befallen all of you now, as far as I'm concerned, you deserve it. You're fucking animals.
This is Eridu. I don't want to break this up and cut things short, but it would seem that we are running lower on time. The band of drow are getting closer. They are in fact drow.
And now, Halifax will have been considering what we've been seeing from the outside, what we've seen from the inside of this room, and would have been was it Erido? Someone mentioned that it was like whatever we required of the room. Essentially, it was what the room that we got.
Yeah, kind of.
Um, because it would be tactically sound. It may be something that they don't have, haven't developed or anything, or maybe they just don't have the capabilities to do so. But we're in a strange place with strange rules. I would like to try and see if there's a room where time moves a little differently, so that either a bunch of us can go in, but not necessarily the people who are poisoned where we want the poison to like accelerate or something, but like we walk in and then a minute later we walk out having had an 8-hour rest.
If there
Yeah.
was a time for anything like that to exist, it seems like now would be the time.
Of course, we would need to, if that thing existed, we also then need to have like the right mindset to use the door and everything. So, would I be able to make an Arcana check to see if I could work out if I can make that happen?
I'll give you an Arcana check to see what kind of knowledge you can piece together.
It's not terrible. I rolled a 14. I get plus 9 to Arcana. Okay, so that's a lot better than I thought it was.
Damn
23.
good.
Okay. Yeah. Time magic is really complicated and breaks all kinds of rules. But you know that there's precedent that Drow might have an ability to have some time magic, considering that Agrians seem to have been locked away for a long period of time. You don't know if he looks any older or any younger. There's a possibility the elves have developed, or the Drow have developed that. But, given the complexity, probabilities would say it's highly unlikely.
Okay. So we don't have the time to replenish all our resources. We need to act on these. Was it 6 that we saw?
I didn't give you a number.
Oh, it just in my head. Then I've placed 6 of them there.
Yeah, no.
Is
the-
it going towards us or to the portal?
The number is 10, and that was a thing that Leah didn't see when she first looked out, just that they were coming in this direction. But they were far enough away that this direction is just pretty much they're walking down the same tentacle from, that you guys had been on earlier.
But
Yeah, so were they walking away or towards?
Yeah.
Coming towards the way you guys came from, but they could be coming from the direction they're coming from. Their destination could be either location.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Would they pass by this structure first
Yes.
on their way to the portal? If so, okay. So either way, they're gonna come by us.
And number-wise, there are 10 of them.
We can take them. What I propose is actually we bottleneck them. I should still be able to cast Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound, which I can't because I don't have it prepared. Oh joy! Well, that's good of me. Hey.
I'm sure you got other good spells. Honestly, if we're talking about bottlenecking, that's something that Egner and Ellie would really be able to accomplish. Like, if we were able to get this advanced position on the tentacle, we'd be able to stop them in their tracks, I hope, and then have support from you guys from behind.
Ooh.
Also cast. I can cast Grace on the tentacle.
Yeah.
And then...
Yep. Leah, would you? Do you feel like you'd have any sway over the brain spider things, like maybe getting them to help? Like, there's little baby ones under a mushroom. We could like poke the mushroom, or like cut off the mushroom and chuck it at them, or like I don't know, like little bits of rations along the tentacle, like leading the
Fly,
spiders
my
towards them.
piggies, fly!
Ah!
Like if they count as beasts, I do have animal friendship and speak with animals on this magic ring that I have.
Pulling out all the stops.
I'm trying to think of everything that we can do to
Yeah,
like, help
actually, what
even
are the
score.
relationships? Uh,
They definitely would be intelligent beasts. I mean, that's something that.
the little ones, the little brain spiders, are they part of the like?
Oh, are they actually part of the hive
They're
mind
what?
itself? Are they part of the hive mind itself? Um,
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
gonna go ahead and say that's not knowledge that either of us would know, either Ellie, Leah, or Eridu, because we didn't, breed them or anything.
Okay.
I would go out and I would say as far as we both have the knowledge to know that there are cranium spiders that are not part of the hive mind of a hive mind. It's possible for them to have multiple hive minds. So that would be a bit of knowledge to have.
Okay. I would definitely hesitate to attempt to tap into the hive mind that I just messed with earlier because, they were trying to kill us. So that seems like risky business, but maybe trying to get the smaller ones to do something distracting is something that I'd be willing to do.
Agna, you're the tactician amongst us. The tentacle itself was what, 10 feet
50.
wide? 50 feet wide. Wait.
Oh, wide?
It got to be 10 feet wide at the tip, like where you could climb down.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
So it's like a highway thing. This is.
Yeah, the base of
Wow.
the tentacle that you are currently on is about 10 feet wide.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, in that case, if it does taper near the end, we should get out there as quickly as we can and try and rush up to the thinnest part of the tentacle that we can, because then that's how Ellie and I would be able to stand our ground, stop them, and
Right.
make it so that they can't get around us.
Is our goal here to talk to them? We need to find out where, if he's not there, where Pops is, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to diplomacy. I am not the person to be talking, but
Well, we need someone who can speak Drow, I presume.
Well, if you
I would.
Go.
No. Continue, brother.
if you are wanting to cut them off, it's probably a time to go now. They're making their way to the thicker parts of the tentacle as we speak. We're losing our window very quickly.
then let's go.
Rushing out. Quarterstaff at the ready. I'm gonna summon Tobias, so it doesn't cost me an action later. I'm just gonna summon him, have him on my shoulder as we run out,
Okay.
just in case.
I have enthrall, which might be a useful thing if I can target someone to pay attention to only me and not notice everything else. But I think I can only use it on one person. So
yeah,
It's also either a charm or mind influencing effect, in which case, elves. Like.
oh yeah, the same as me. I forgot they were
Yeah.
like me. Can't use that.
They just get advantage. They're not immune to it, but
right.
give it a shot.
Are we ready?
Otherwise, the only other things I can think of are just being really distracting, especially if there's a chance that Agrian is among them. I could just walk out there and be like, I want to speak to Agrian.
Yeah.
Should I just do that?
Well, I mean, we should all go, obviously. I mean, but you should definitely like Egner said, I mean, diplomacy is a good option, but Egner's going to be there to defend someone in case the diplomacy doesn't go well. I mean, we all got to be out there if things go south, but we can try talking first.
Okay. Well, tell me what you guys do, and then I will tell you what happens.
Okay, we go out there as a group, and as soon as we get to a close enough distance where we can shout at each other, perhaps, Leah takes the way.
All right.
Takes it away.
Okay, sure. I thought that some people were going to try and sneak around them and do like a pincher effect or something.
I
We decide not to do that.
didn't catch that.
I think based on the structure of the tentacle, that's kind of out of the question.
Okay.
Unless they were going to take the time to go up one of the other paths and across another tentacle and come back around, which would take time.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna try to do any like mind affecting spells at the moment.
No.
But I will be willing to essentially go first and say some words.
You you make your way as you're making your way up the path. The group of like Laodin, you can see one of the people, and they're all wearing robes. They're all wearing leather armor. They're all wearing very dark clothes. They are keeping to the parts of the tentacle that don't have the luminescent eyes, and they're veering away from anything that gives off its own light. As soon as they see you, one of them starts to make some hand motions, and then a group of 4 just come running in your guys' direction. This is before anything's been said. Go ahead and respond, say what you must say.
All right. We are not here to hurt anyone. I only wish to speak to Agrian. Do you know where he is and how I can find him?
The first 4 don't stop running, but the one who is giving the hand gestures pulls the hood back and says, "I'm here, daughter. What do you want from me?"
Can you call off your the attackers for a moment so we can speak?
They have no interest in you.
Who are they here for?
They are just trying to get by. Get by you.
No,
Oh.
I got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they speaking in a language that everyone else can understand? Like, are they speaking in common?
Did you start the conversation in common or draw?
I think I started it in common, actually.
Okay. So yeah, you guys can all hear this.
Okay.
Is the portal behind us? Are they trying to get past us to the portal?
The portal would be behind you. That would be a very valid.
I'll say quietly, just to us, I think they're trying to get to the portal.
Egner knows that for sure, and in this burst of energy and just resolute action, he whips his sword out, he takes his shield, he assumes this defensive stance, he gives this visual cue that he's not going to let anyone pass at all, and he says, "No one is leaving."
All right. I
I'd
would.
also like to
Oh, go ahead.
say tail onto that. We may let them pass if you are willing to deal with us.
All right. I would like Agner to give me an intimidation check, and I would like Leah to give me a persuasion check.
Cool.
I actually rolled well. It's a total of 18.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
With the no one shall pass, and like Agner gearing up to defend the path, the 4 that are charging forward start to slow down a little bit. They reach into their robes, and as they do, they pull out just a blade of shadow, similar to the ones that the other drow had pulled out inside the tower. they're still kind of moving forward as though they're aiming to get past you, but they're ready to sort of fight their way past.
Can I cast Grease
You could.
under them?
And
Okay, but I rolled a 27 on my I rolled a 19, and then I got a 27 on my persuasion. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to hear your roll before I let anything else happen. With that, Agrian sort of, him and the other 6 other 5 have been moving up slowly, and he kind of stops and goes, interesting. Very well, I think we'll take the time to parley. I would like to know what you have to say.
Well, you have something. You have told me that you have something that we need, which is the antidote for the poison that is killing your son. Do you in fact have that?
No, and I never did. I lied to you, and I'm sorry. But that is only because Eridu already has everything he needs to overcome the poison himself. And in fact, he's been doing it since he took on that poison.
Egner's face just starts to look super confused, and he relaxes his stance a little bit. He's not focusing as much on the defense thing. What?
Well, Leah is going to whirl around and look accusingly at her brother.
Those of you who are maybe a little more looking at what's happening, so maybe Halifax and Ellie, let me give you a chance to... Well, Ellie, you're casting Grease, right?
Well, if they're stopping, then no.
Okay. So Halifax and Ellie, roll me a persuasion check. Persuasion.
Persuasion? What are we persuading?
Not persuasion,
Perception.
Oh, okay.
Wrong one.
6.
17.
Okay. Halifax, you have just caught sight of what looks to be a green, like faintly phosphorescent manta ray looking creature to your left, just sort of drifting through the spaces between the tentacles, and your attention is momentarily taken off of the drow. But Ellie, you see a flash of a smile on Agrian's face as Leah turns to turns her accusations towards Eridu.
Okay. I'm gonna say he's trying to distract our attention from why he wants us to be here. Let's deal with that stuff later. Deal with why he wanted us to come here now. Ellie's in kind of panic mode because she's like, she knows what's going on and she doesn't want Aigna to know that she knows what's going on.
Right.
And she doesn't want Eridu's secret to come out, so she doesn't want Leia to know that she knew as well. So she's kind of like, let's not talk about this now. My worry is, I don't know if like Aigna would notice because he can tell when people are lying, like whether he'd be able to tell that she's suddenly gone a bit funny. But
right.
Roll insight.
It's hard to say how Egner's feeling right now. I think he would he wouldn't be in a position to reach any conclusions right now. He would be like thinking and rehashing this over like later, and then realize like, oh wait, there was something funny about that. Right now he's just very confused, and he's still wondering like if he needs to defend against some drow trying to get past him to the portal.
Mm-hmm. At this point, the drow who are getting to the front, they're like getting almost right up on you guys. They've sort of stopped and are edging along the sides of the tentacle, with a guarded look at you guys, but they don't seem to be making any aggressive move toward you. The other drow are continuing forward, even past Agrian, except for one who has stayed just sort of right a step or two behind him. And Leah, you
Uh,
turn towards Eridu to say a thing.
well, I was going to whirl and look at him and glare and see if whatever I see on his face corroborates what Agrian just said. So what's showing up on Eridu's face right now?
Eridu is pointedly staring at Agrian with so much intensity that uh, he is not taking in anything else around him. I would like you to roll an insight check.
Okay. 20 total.
Okay. The intensity that Eridu is using does also show a sign of pointedly not looking at anyone else.
Well, Leah's going to turn back to Agrian and say, "Explain yourself."
How's she feeling right now?
Upset. I'm glad you asked.
How deep is that sense of upset? Is it just like I'm a little annoyed, or is it becoming like close to rage?
Well, let's see. It's a combination of confusion, frustration, anger, um, desperation. It's a complex cluster of feelings,
Okay.
but they are very strong.
You look at Agrian, and he is like locked eyes with you, and he has etched into his face this intense rage. He grabs the back of the nearest drow, not the one standing behind him, but the one who's just passing, grabs the back of this one's robe, and just rips that drow to one side, who loses his balance and falls from the tentacle. His jaws just clenched, and then he looks at his hand and what he's done and almost kind of gets a shocked expression. And then he looks at you. Interesting. You've never been able to affect me before. Maybe I have been loving the wrong child all this time. It doesn't really matter. You can't stop
Maybe
what's
you need
coming
to
in.
learn how to love both of you at the same time.
I'm afraid there is no capacity in me for that amount of love. It's a distraction.
What a Grinch.
Oh, you are a piece of work.
No, I am an idealist. You've seen this world. You've seen what it has, its dangers. This came to us because of the hubris of others. Those elves who sought to cast us out. Specifically the Tackentires, but all of them really are who are to blame for our victim. I don't know what to say.
Victimhood.
Victimhood, yeah. And Zarkon saw firsthand these atrocities given to our species, how willing these elven clans were to just cast us aside for a sin long since forgotten. They sent us here to live in this place of hunger and of fear and desperation. And then the matriarchs have the audacity to try to tell us to make this place our home. To lead us in a different life, to put aside the anger we feel for our punishment, our undeserved punishment. Zarkon had a plan.
We've had this argument before, Agrian.
And that is why you were never at my side. You couldn't see the follies of all other who would subjugate us. They
Your
deserve.
anger, it only causes more violence. And it's not necessary.
And on top of that, Egner speaks up with this surprising amount of confidence in his voice. If you're looking to Zarkon for any kind of redemptive hope or even revenge or whatever it is that you're looking to him for, you're not going to get it. Why? Because Zarkon is duplicitous to his core. He'll use you for everything you have. And then, when you need him the most, he'll stab you in the back. And he will betray you.
I am no puppet. I didn't follow on Zarkon's orders because I thought he had what's best for me in mind. No, he had an idea, but he's not here to carry it out, and nor do I plan to allow him to be resurrected. This is my legacy. Zarkon can burn in the annals of history for all I care. So, I have promised that we would help win a war. That is what we are doing. And you...
If you can't help me...
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. No, go ahead. I want to see what he does.
He points at Leah and says, and you have always been a foil to the plans by whispering in Eridu's ear, by seeding doubt in the one that I trusted the most.
And so you punished him by poisoning him?
No,
Your own son?
he did that to himself. No, I punished him by taking you away. And I'll do it again.
I won't let you.
I don't think you have this figured out yet. You can try to stop me, but the seeds have already been planted. Eridu, why don't you finish what you started? And with that, Eridu gives a scream of pain. And as he does, his body starts to twist and contort. Jagged, furry legs tear from his sides. And a large abdomen grows out of his back. And in a moment, he has shifted into a giant spider.
What?
Why is everyone turning into spiders?
Because, drow. And with that, roll initiative.
What? But
Ooh.
but Egner's supposed to be the one to turn into a spider.
23.
All right.
Well, there you go, Halifax. I got 11. Man, this has really been kind of a doozy, the end of this one. Oh my gosh.
15.
15 for me, too.
Okay, who's going to go first out of the two of you?
I mean, probably not Leah. She's having a lot of feelings.
I almost
Yeah.
put Leah as your other character from our old game.
What's
I feel
that?
like-
I almost wrote down Eleni for Leah. All right.
I mean, there are similarities.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like Ellie's been like on high alert watching all of this, so she's probably like first.
Gonna
to
spring into
spring
action. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of them two. Anyway.
All right. The first person who gets to go then is Halifax, pretty clearly.
So, Eridu is now a giant spider. That I mean, it doesn't make the lines clear. Like, is Eridu a nice spider that likes us and is friendly?
Eridu is, stepping slowly, all 8 of his eyes set on Leah. Little drops of venom just seeping to the tip of his fangs. No, he's not on your side. It's pretty clear he's looking to kill someone.
Right. Well, in that case,
Aww.
I'm going to.
That's not what
lean.
Eridu spider looks like.
Sorry.
Is that Lucas?
Yeah.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love Lucas. Lucas the spider. Okay. Halifax is going to. This is going to turn a little anime now. He's going to be leaning into his staff, and just with a pointed look, stare at Arachnidu.
Oh my god.
And say,
Aerodacnid?
Nah, I like Arachnidu.
Arachnidu.
I like Arachnidu. Beardo, Maridu, Arachnidu.
Something crawling under your skin there, friend. I shall cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter with that as the verbal component.
Okay. What's the
So, Eridu needs to make a wisdom saving throw, which he's a monk. He's probably got really high wisdom. This is not going to go well.
But he's a spider now. How wise are spiders, really?
And the real question is, how high is Asa rolling today? Because that's really what's been happening.
Yeah, that's,
I
that's
rolled a 19, so it's a 21 in total.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a save or suck. So it does nothing. So apparently Eridu as a spider does not laugh at my jokes. That's the main takeaway from this.
I'm sure someone else would have laughed at that. Somewhere, someone.
With that, are you going to do any movements, or are you ready to pass the turn on?
I am planting my quarterstaff. In fact, could I try and stick the quarterstaff into the tentacle, like enough to like have it freestanding?
Do an attack roll, but yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That's not terrible. I don't often do attack rolls. What's my to hit? Oh yeah, +6. So 18.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to punch it in probably about 1.5 to 2 inches.
Cool. So I stick that in. It's still glowing at the top to provide a light source, and I'm gonna leave Tobias on the staff, and I'm gonna backpedal out of there. A little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, the 4 drow with their swords drawn start to pick up their movement again, start to kind of get into a little bit of a run. The 4 that are a little further back, they all start to move forward. They're not pulling out any sort of weapon, though. It's Ellie's turn now.
Oh, okay. I don't know whether to deal with the drow or to try and deal with the spider. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna cast Grease.
Okay.
So between us and the drow across that.
All right.
10 foot.
By this time, you're able to cover just like one side of the tentacle, so the other 2 are going to be able to, like, the 2 on one side will be going through it, but 2 on the other side will be able to not be impeded by it. And just as they start running forward, the first drow hits the grease and starts to slip and slide and just goes right off the side of the tentacle. The second one, still like mid-stride, isn't able to catch himself before running into the grease, but he has seen his companion fall to his death, and so he's been a little more careful when he hits the grease, and he like slides a bit and then falls and lands on his butt.
Okay.
What else are you gonna do?
I'm gonna stand in the gap on the other side where the.
At this point, it's about a 30-foot gap where you and Agner could stand. So it's a little bit harder of an area to defend, but it's still there.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand so if they try, I'm just gonna try and stand so I can try and get an attack off on someone if they try and get past me.
Okay. And Leah.
Oh, and I'm gonna also tell Agner that Eridu's a spider now.
Thanks.
Just
Thanks.
Good call.
Yeah,
Agner turned into
Smart.
a spider.
appreciate it. Egner just takes the news like, it's like he's heard so much gnarly shit today already, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's fine.
This is also completely why Halifax's joke didn't land, because Aigner didn't know. So the whole so, you know,
I was supposed to
yeah.
help out and be like the first one to laugh, and then maybe he would or whatever. And I just
Right.
didn't get it. Like, yeah.
But then, yeah. Why is he saying something's crawling under Eridu's skin? I don't understand what he's talking about. These jokes aren't funny.
It's
Why
not.
don't you figure that
It's
out?
just not funny, man.
All right. What you doing, Leah?
Right. I'm so torn between two actions, and I can't even decide which one she would do. But I think her immediate action is going to be to basically try to talk to Eridu, which, you know, seems like pure nonsense.
Right.
But she's also going to be very intense about it. So what it's actually going to come out to is Charm Monster.
Okay.
Except for it's just her. She's not attempting to influence him. She's just having lots of feelings at him about how she loves him and also doesn't want him to be attacking anyone.
Okay.
And of course, that is a 16 as per usual.
Roll low for once, Asa. Just you can do it. You can
Oh,
roll
that's
low.
right. The thing. I did. I rolled a 3.
Yay!
So, as you're setting these feelings, the spider sort of goes rigid, and Agner,
Who, me?
you get this. You get you hear that whispering again. It's always been sort of ever present, but really low, and it speaks up again, and it says, "He is not what he appears to be. He is hidden in shadow. The master has his mind. Free him." And
Who is hidden in
you-
shadow?
you just like smell Eridu, like that faint lavender scent that he is so
Yeah.
familiar for, but it's like it's coming from two different places.
Huh. So is one direction like the direction of where Spider Eridu is?
Both the directions are ahead of you, so like pinpointing exactly is not a thing that you can just immediately do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wait, is it Agner's turn now, or is it still someone else's?
It is Agner's turn. No, I'm sorry, it's not Agner's turn. It's Eridu's turn. So Spider Eridu, he kind of gets rigid and then makes a biting attempt toward Leah, but it's really like half-assed, and he just sort of like stumbles on his own body as though he's like a spider wearing rollerblades, and ends up burying his claws or his fangs into the tentacle, and then everyone needs to make a dexterity roll because the tentacle reacts to that.
Oh, great.
Is it a dexterity saving throw?
It is a dexterity saving throw.
At a 16.
I got a
7.
15.
11.
Okay. What did you get, sir, Ellie?
7.
7. Okay. It's just like a fairly slow wave, but it's pretty strong. So Ellie and Leah, you are just forced in the direction the wave is coming from, which is like in both directions away from Eridu's bite. So you both just kind of fall back. And so does one of the drow that's not on the grease side. He like is thrown from the side. The other jumps forward and then stabs its blade into the tentacle and pulls himself back up with that. The 4 that are coming towards you all seem to like ready themselves for it. Agrian stands just fine through the whole thing as though he had expected this, but the one standing right behind him falls backward. And as he does, he knocks his hood back, and there is Eridu. Drow's turn.
No, I thought you said it's my turn.
Yeah, the Drow went for you.
I'm so confused.
I know, I was lying.
Just like Agrian.
The,
By that I mean Eridu. What?
the one in the grease is like struggling to get up. He's having a hard time, and then he just like poofs, and all that's left is this cloud of shadow, and then 60 feet ahead of him, so just behind where Ellie and Egner are, he appears again, still, laying on his side trying to get up. The other one who's stabbed into the tentacle pulls himself up to his feet and then does the same thing, and he also appears just behind Ellie and Egner, and then he starts to run down the tentacle as fast as he can. The other four all step forward and begin to do like things with their fingers to cast spells.
If only there was someone in our party with a counterspell.
If only.
Yeah, it'd be handy.
It would. I do only have. Oh no, I can cast it at high levels, can't I? So 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 potential counterspell slots. So I am going to use a third level. Does it look like they're all combining to cast one spell, or are they all doing individual spells? Or would I need to roll an Arcana to find out?
They are all doing individual spells. They just happen to all be the exact same spell.
Damn. I'm not going to counterspell then. I'm going to save those slots.
All right. So, Egner does a 13 hit your AC.
No.
Does a not Egner, but Ellie does a 15 hit your AC.
Nope.
All right. Halifax does a 17 hit your AC.
Yep.
And Leah does a natural 17, so 25 hit your AC.
I'm gonna go with yeah, but let me just. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Real quick,
that-
just to be on the safe side. All right.
Just to,
Halifax.
yeah,
Halifax and Leah, you start to feel like this. You almost feel like something is gripping you with a cold hand, almost like a chilled touch. And you each take 19
almost like that.
of cold damage.
Sorry, was that 19?
19.
Okay, I'm going to take that damage, and for the first time, since I've actually taken damage for once, I'm going to do a reaction.
Do it. And
I'm going
after the reaction, it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to do
My
Misty
turn.
Escape,
Okay.
and I'm going to use it to actually appear behind my father.
All right.
And then I will take my action that associated with that later.
Okay. Egner, go.
Okay, so Egner is going to follow his nose because that is the only thing right now. Yeah, I mean, with the message from his deity, I suppose, and with the smell that he's getting, it's like he's got to follow that until he figures out exactly what's going on. So what he's going to do is that he's going to use a maneuver called evasive footwork. So I'm going to roll the superiority die, and I got an 8. Hell yeah. So he gets a +8 bonus to his AC while he's moving. So he's got he's got a 28. So he is just like charging through. If anyone tries to hit him or trip him, he's just shield bashing his way through. No one can touch him unless they get really lucky, I guess. And he's moving his full. He's dashing if he needs to. He's moving 30 feet. Then he'll move the extra 30 feet if he needs to. He's following his nose, seeing where the smell is taking him.
All right. Yeah, he moves forward and he feels the whoosh of something just right over his head. And then as soon as he feels that, he gets the sense. That's when he once he moves past that. That's when he feels the split in the smell of Eridu. He's just passed one thing that smells smells of him, but judging by like the thing that whooshed over his head and the spatial reasoning, you're pretty sure that was Spider Bear Eridu, Arachnidu.
Arachnidu.
Mhm.
Well, he's gonna ignore Arachnidu and keep moving
Then-
on.
All right, as you keep moving on, you make your way past two of the other drow. They both swing their staves at you. I believe they have staves. I'm not exactly sure. They have spears, so close enough. And that would be a 20 and a 19, so
Ting,
totals.
ting.
So, yeah, you just get that shield up, their spears slam against it, and you're able to make it up pretty close. You can smell this point the other side of Eridu about 10 feet away from you. For those of you who can see, he's only a few feet in front of Agrian. Not quite within striking distance, but not far off.
Full 60 feet didn't get me to him?
Oh, then yes, that would get you to him. Sorry, I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
you. Okay,
So,
yeah, you are able to charge right up. Agrian grits his teeth and lets drop from his robe a large chain with all these little spikes on it. And as soon as you get like you're going to run past him, he swings that at you. You hear the whoosh just in time to throw your shield up. That chain wraps around your shield, and it yanks the shield from your grasp.
oh, shit.
But you are able to pull past him.
So,
And,
Agrian is not the source of the smell.
No,
Wait.
the source of the smell is just behind Agrian.
Okay. Well, then I'm going there.
Yep. So you go just behind Agrian, and you are standing in front of the other smell of Eridu.
I will grab it, or whatever it is. I'm just trying to get a tangible hold on what this
Yeah.
is.
You reach down and grasp a forearm, and it seems kind of limp in your grasp, and then you yank and pull this person to their feet. They're wearing a long, like, robe that feels very like silky, very smooth under your grasp. Yeah, it's pretty much your turn.
Is this you, Eridu? Is this the real you? Have the others been lies this whole time?
Leah, since you're right there and you can see,
I am.
this Eridu sort of has a very dazed look about him. And he, like, very lazily looks into Agner's face and just says, Agner, your voice is so far off in the dark. Where are you?
Stay with me, Eridu. Stay with me. We'll get you out of here.
Oh, and I totally lied, actually. No, I didn't lie. I have this right. I was like, the drow are after you, but they're not. Okay, Halifax, your turn.
So, what actually affected Aigner when he ran through?
So, Spider Eridu swung a claw at him, and then the two of the drow tried to stab him with a spear, and then Agrian dropped like a spike chain that was hidden inside of his robes, and then swung it at Agner and ripped his shield away with it. It's all melee attacks.
Okay.
Can't touch this.
But it was the spellcaster, like the ones who cast some spells that were using the shields or the spears.
Okay. Let's cast confusion on one of them.
Alright.
Let's see if we can get them attacking each other. So, like one that's like got a couple of people between them and Aigner, and particularly Eridu. So that if they rush towards Aigner, they've got things to potentially hit. But yes, Wisdom saving throw DC 17 for one of these drow.
It's you can do multiple ones. It's each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, you can definitely target two of them.
Yeah.
They both fail. Now the confusion just means they attack a random or move in a random direction.
No,
or
it's
something.
like you roll a d10 and get these different results.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
random behavior.
Do you have
So
the behaviors in front of you?
I do. Yep.
Okay.
So at the start of each of their turns, we roll the d10 to determine the behavior.
I'm just gonna do them now. I've got a 3 and an 8.
Okay. So 3, the creature doesn't move or take actions their turn, and an 8,
Okay.
they use their action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach.
All right. So yeah, you see one of them is kind of like start looking around and like taking in the place as though it's the first time he'd ever seen it. And as he does, his companion takes his spear and just drives it through his chest.
Nice.
Its chest. Most of them are robes, so you can't tell their genders. But yeah. Is that going to be it for you?
Yes, that's
Okay.
going to be it for me.
Given that it's 3 o'clock, I'm going to really quickly run through these as our last round of combat. So,
Cool.
Ellie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna try and get up beside Agnes, so like I'll dash
Okay.
the whole way. But also, what I would like to kind of try and work out is if this other Eridu looks like he's sick with the same thing that other Eridu was.
Yeah, as you get up there, this Eridu looks to be just all around in much worse shape than other Eridu, but in a lot of the same ways.
Okay, so it looks like he's taken the poison. Because what I'm struggling with piecing together is the Eridu that took the thing with the druid, if that's the same person. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
right.
Like, if it was...
Speaking of which,
Hold on,
Spidey Eridu gets to do an attack of opportunity against you, so he's going to do that.
that's fine.
Let's see. And I got a 15 and 25 to hit.
Yes, 25 hits.
And that is 11 piercing damage, and then make a constitution save.
Crit 20.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you feel the fangs just like tear across your back first, but it's so quick, and they make they barely actually like penetrate your skin, so you don't feel any of the effects of the poison whatsoever. Because I allowed you to critically succeed, which essentially means no half damage. All right. And then are you going to do any actions when you get up to Eridu?
I'm
No,
gonna
you can't, 'cause
have...
you have to dash to get
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Can I pick up is his shield on the floor? Or is it...
Eggers? Yeah.
Yeah. I like scoop that up on my way past.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And as you scoop it up, Egrian, sensing that he's in some real danger, takes another swing with that chain. And that would be a 12, so that's going to miss for sure. This guy's got a really low to hit. That's really silly.
Scooped right under it.
Yeah.
All right, and then next is Leah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna grab Agrian by his arms, shoulders, clothes. I'm just gonna grab him, force him to look at me, stare him in the eyes, and with all of the stuff in my head that I've got, I'm just going to drill into him with, "Stop this farce now. Release my brother." And it's going to be, now I realize that he may have saves, but he did mention that he seems to be affected by me, so I'm going to use Dominate. Which Dominate
person?
do I have? I just forgot.
Dominate person?
Yeah, Dominate person.
Okay.
Sick.
He, as you like stare into him with that rage, he just smiles at you and says, "You already tried or succeeded once. I won't let you do it again. But as you wish." And then, as you're holding on to him, his whole being just like dissipates into shadow. And then he reappears behind the spider Eridu and puts a hand on his abdomen and looks up at you and says, "Don't ever say I haven't done a favor for you, daughter." And then he turns and runs after his men who are going toward a portal. As he does, the spider Eridu starts to like fold in on itself, and when it's done, he is again Eridu, breathing heavy on the ground. The other four drow that are around you all start to cast a spell, and as they do, a small doorway opens in front of them, shimmering in a layer of light. They step through it, and then they all appear just beside where the portal was at. Um, they are there long enough to usher in the remaining drow through the portal, including Agrian, and then they follow up behind him. And the only reason why I'm spinning this along and not letting you guys react is it's 3:05, and you have two Eridus that are both sort of in bad shape. What are you guys planning on doing with them?
Well, Egner is picking up the new Eridu, or is he the old one? I don't know yet.
You
but,
don't know.
But he's picking that one up, the very weak one who's wearing the robe, and Egner will just hold him in his arms and walk straight toward the portal and try and get him out of here. And wherever they end up on the other side of the portal, they're just going to have to deal with that. But Egner is trying to get the new Eridu out of this dangerous environment.
Anybody else?
Probably should get the other one.
Yeah. Leah will rush forward to the other one. She's very confused, but there are two of them, so.
Yeah, I'll grab my quarterstaff and help carry unconscious and hurt people out.
And Jaren is like really been.
Leah's gonna grab him along the way and be like, "You're coming with us."
He's been like he was kind of ready to defend against the Drow with Ellie and Agner, but really doesn't seem to know what to make of a lot of this. As you guys get to the portal and begin to move through it, you feel this like it glows with light as Eridus pass through it. And when the light dissipates, you guys are not in the bottom of a tower, but rather you're standing in the center of a grove of bronzewoods. And where there were once two Eridus, one being held up by Leah and one being held up by Agner, there is now one being held up by both Agner and Leah. And he looks up, looks at both of you with a sense of very strong awareness in his eyes, looks at the grove and says, "Well, that was unpleasant. Having your essence divided in two. It's very painful. I don't recommend that any of you do it." As he says that, you all notice that all the traces of disease and or poison that have been running through him are completely gone.
Oh, wow.
And that's where we're going to end for this session. And this
and
episode.
Scene. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that was wild, but I'm glad that Eridu's okay again. We'll figure out the rest of the crazy shit that happened. Like I said, Egner's going to be rehashing this for a while. So, hey, thanks for joining us today on Roll for Mischief, and join us next week on Tuesday, and we will have the first session of Carrie's episode. It's gonna
Doesn't
be
have a name yet.
Doesn't have a name.
That's-
Wait,
that's-
no, I
that's-
thought it did have a name yet.
That's-
Wait,
that's-
oh wait,
that's- Silence. Only you know the name.
Okay, be cool. Everyone, just play cool. Just play cool.
Be cool, Kyle. Come on.
Wait. I can be cool sometimes. All right, thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and get these exit credits going. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.